The guest star.
Yes, he's right here. We can make him look like a merman, a mermaid too. A merman, a
His name
merdoll.
is Finn, after all.
He is Finn, and he's actually named after a shark. That's why his name is Finn.
That is just precious.
Yeah, it's the mascot of Jacob Pool.
Oh.
All right, so I have to do a couple things over here. I have to mute me here, and
I'll admit you into the room.
And then you need to let me in.
Don't mind us just doing a little behind the scenes action here as we get prepared to dive in to a jewelry making project today. All right, we've got Meredith, double trouble. Let me do this gallery view. Okay, cool. Hi, everyone. My name is Sarah James from Jessie James Beads. You might already know that already. And I'm here with Meredith Roddy, who you also likely know already. Meredith is from Beadalon. And we have invited Meredith to come on the show today because, as you may also know already, that this month is Mer-May, and Meredith resonates as a mermaid. Do you not, Meredith Roddy?
100%. And I actually, it's funny, everyone calls me Mer, who is a friend, but there was one guy in college who always called me Mer because he would see it written like on, you know how you would put your whiteboard on your dorm room door, and so people would write Mer, but he thought it was Mer. So to him, always I was Mer.
I think you should incorporate Mer into your mermaid name, Meredith.
100%. 100%.
So yesterday on the unboxing product reveal Facebook Live, Randy Brown suggested, hey, we all need to come up with our mermaid names. So after this live, go over to the Jessie James page here on Facebook and just scroll a minute and find the giveaway. We're giving away one of our new Let's Be Mermaid mixes for a random person that puts their mermaid name in there. So get creative and have fun. And we definitely want to hear from you with what you resonate with as your mermaid calling.
Oh my gosh, I love that idea. And I was in a sales meeting or a team meeting for Beadalon up until our Facebook Live today, or else I was going to figure out what my actual mermaid name was going to be, but it will be Mer something. Mer something. I love this mix, Sarah James. It is so much fun.
You have no idea what it feels like, Meredith, and other designers that have reached out and said to me, like, oh my gosh, this bead mix has just been so inspiring. This morning, Meredith, I woke up and I looked at my phone, you know, as you do. And the first thing I saw was a text from you that was just like, wow, Sarah, I watched that unboxing that you did yesterday and I'm just so inspired and I have all these other ideas. Yeah. And that is a win for us at Jessie James, to have our designers and our beady friends and all of our friends here online just say like, man, I got this bead mix and I'm so inspired to create.
Yeah, 100%. And you can see on the board here, like I laid out a couple more ideas that I have for myself just in. So I know what the bead mixes are going to be beforehand, because we talk and we share and then you send them to me. But I love, and unfortunately I wasn't able to watch live last night because I was sitting and watching a bunch of 11 and 12-year-olds play baseball. But when I got home, I was able to rewatch it. And so then hearing what you say about the mix, and then seeing the comments also of all of our beady friends who are also being inspired. I had a couple things that I made yesterday. I was feeling a little under the weather, a little not 100% myself yesterday. But then this morning, don't tell my work team, but as we were meeting this morning, I made up a couple of new designs just in hearing and seeing, because, for example, this is my favorite thing that I made, but I didn't realize that these beads were so glowing. Yeah. And when you were showing and talking about the glowiness and the shining from within of these beads, let me put on another light and it'll really
Let's take a look.
It'll really show it. So all of this glowy and all of that luminescence in there for these beads, I was like, well, that needs to be something all together in a bracelet. And so I just whipped this up this morning in my sales learning.
That is the
but look at how fun,
bioluminescent,
right?
yes, the bioluminescence bracelet.
And then this bead is just everything. And I use the gold here, but the rose gold one, those are going someplace special. I'm not sure where they're going yet, but this is, and it's funny also because you did Siren first, then, hold on, I know the names. Where's my box? Then you opened a Splash, and then you opened up Coral Queen last. And that's exactly how I did it when I pulled them out of the box. I thought that was so interesting. And that's how most of the people who were watching wanted to have them opened too. Why do you think that is? It's so interesting to me.
I don't know. I think that I don't know, because I feel like one of our best selling colors, like and we'll survey our friends and our customers about what color they like best, and purple and blue are always coming up on top. But man, oh man, has rose gold not been so popular? I'm telling you, I'm sitting in my office right now and I've got a rose gold accent wall. I was saying yesterday, my planner is rose gold, my phone is rose gold, the computer is rose gold. It is definitely trending. And I am a person that likes to save my favorite for last. So that was my thinking, but I don't know why the crowd went that way as well.
I don't know. It's just, that's what I always do purple first. That's my go-to for everything, which is why I opened the purple one first. But I thought that was so interesting when I was watching it last night on the replay, that we did, like, everyone kind of went with the same idea.
Do you know what? It could also be that little thing that great minds think alike.
100% great beady minds think alike. And one of the other things that I loved, and I haven't done anything with it yet, and I would love to see if anybody else kind of takes this idea. At one point you had in your hand the mermaid tails. Here, let me take this down. The mermaid tails kind of arranged like this. And I thought, wouldn't that be an interesting thing to think about from a design perspective? Maybe with a cool bead in the center. I don't know. I just started kind of playing around with a couple of the inspirations that I got. And like I said, I haven't done anything with it yet, but, like, I don't know. There's something in there, right? Something to think about. Wanda says my mermaid tail is wagging. It's true.
Oh, you guys know that Finn the dog must be some sort of mer dog if he's Meredith.
100%. He is definitely a mer dog. He's being a very good boy this morning.
Yeah,
and then
those fins together, I feel like you could do something cool with, like, some seed beads, like some sort of like seed bead cluster in the middle.
Yeah.
Like
I don't know. It's percolating for sure. Maybe with some stitching, I don't know, but there's definitely there are definitely some ideas percolating. And then this guy, I love how this little purple bead here, that's this one, just nestles right in that bead cap. I know that you were kind of showing it as maybe a flower or a mermaid tail, but I don't know. From all of the different beads that I tried in here, I really like the way that one guy fits in there. It's just, I don't know. There's something that speaks to me about that. So again, like, just kind of playing around with everything is my most fun thing to do. But this collection clearly definitely speaks to me.
Yay. Well, I'm so glad that you enjoy it. There is a lot going on this mat today, Miss Meredith.
I know, and this is everything that's left after I did all of my creating.
Wow. So so show us, what are we doing today?
Okay. So I did a lot of playing around, and I wanted to show a simple design and then two a little bit more complex designs, and then we're going to make one of the designs.
Excellent.
So I know that you love quick links, you as well as I love the quick links, and it goes against everything that I stand for. So I'm not going to do a sweep. What I'm actually going to do is bring in another mat. Where did my mat go? It was literally right over here, and now I don't see it. That's not good. All right, we're just going to move this to the side for right now.
P.S. Meredith, I'm digging that sweatshirt that you have on today.
I know.
On
I
my
told
camp
you,
couch
Sarah, I
in the
literally,
house.
I wear it like a pair of jeans. I wear it every day, and then when it gets dirty, I wash it, and then I wear it again.
I love it. I love when you have a garment like that and it just gets like so soft and cozy. It's like second skin.
Yes, well, and it's like the comfiest, warmest, and it's freezing in my workshop down here. My Martell is back. It gets so cold in my workshop downstairs, and so I need to yeah, so it's always with me. Okay, so I know that we love the quick links, and I want to make sure that people know how versatile, oh sorry Finn, how versatile the quick links are. This is a quick link.
No
and I don't
way.
know if we have done this, if I've showed this technique
We have
on
not.
your
I'm
Facebook
excited.
Live. What's that, Sarah?
We have not. I'm excited. That's cool. I had no idea because you sent me this picture yesterday and I just thought we were bending some wire. How cool.
Oh, all right. Well, you know, we have a little bit of time, and I love hanging out with my JJB beauty friends. So let's do this one too, right? Why not? It's super easy. And I love a quick link. So let me show you what I'm doing here. That one's small. We'll do it with the bigger one. Go big or go home, right, JJB friends?
Yeah.
And maybe in all of this, I will actually find my other, oh, here it is. See? Here's my bead mat. I knew I would find it eventually. I always like working on a bead mat a little bit more than working on anything else, right?
Absolutely.
Oops, don't want to spill my coffee. Okay, so the cool thing about the quick links is that you can cut them. And my favorite way to cut them is with a memory wire flush cutter. And the reason why I use the memory wire flush cutter is because it's a true flush cut. So when you're using any other cutter, you will almost always get a flat side on one side and then that kind of divot, that triangle on the other side. But with the memory wire cutter, you can see this side is flat and this side is flat. So if you come in here and cut, you can see how easy that was. You cut the quick link, both of these sides are going to be flush, right? We can see that. Sometimes it takes a minute to focus, but we're good. We're good. And then all you need to do is take your round nose pliers and grab here. And this is a little hard, not hard, but a little, you need a little oomph behind this. It's not difficult. You just want to make sure that you're given a little torque to it on this side and then on this side, and you just roll these back. And this one must be very old because some of the plating is flaking off. But then you have this really cool shape that then you can connect. But actually what you can do before you roll those rolls, which I forgot to do, and I often forget to do, but what you can do before you do the rolls is actually thread something on. And because the Jesse James beads have such large holes, you can actually thread on like these, right? How beautiful would this be as an earring with that amazing gold ball there?
So cute.
And so then you just come in here and again, so fast, bend this back. And then bend the other side back.
Now, how pliable is the quick link? Are you really having to wrangle that wire, or is it going pretty easy?
I mean, I'm certainly no strong woman, but it definitely needs some good torquing. So if you have arthritis in your wrists, it's probably not going to be the easiest technique that you will ever do. But if I feel like if I can do it without too much trouble, it's not, most people will be able to do it. Like sometimes when I'm watching Wyatt do wire work, I'm like, well, I can't do that. Like I don't have that kind of wrist strength or finger strength. But like I said, if I can do it, most people are going to be able to do it, no problem. And then here I finished this off just with a little bit of chain reaction and a jump ring and an ear wire. So like super easy peasy. But this isn't even what I wanted to show you guys today. But isn't that so much fun?
Mm-hmm.
I want to do these for Sarah. You were mentioning your star sisters.
My sea stars.
Your sea stars. I kind of like star sisters too, but your sea stars. Yes, Sharon, actually, yes. She's suggesting using the memory wire finishing pliers, and I do like those a lot. I wasn't sure if, do you have the memory wire finishing pliers?
We do. Let me see if
I thought so too. I always want to be sensitive, but yes, these guys here have a really good torque, but you always want to make sure, see how mine are bent out like that? You want to make sure that you go and you put your wire as far in the bottom part of the jaw as you possibly can to alleviate this problem. I like keeping these as a reminder of what not to do, which is don't try to go up here because you'll bend your pliers out of place. Okay, so that was one thing, but then the first thing that I made, and this is actually not what we're making today, well, maybe we'll do a little bit, is this. So anyway, so what I was saying, Sarah, is so when you are hanging out with your sea stars at the beach, like I just want to make these earrings with the charms dangling off of the quick link for everybody this summer. Like I think that that'll just be so much fun at the beach to have a little hoop with a charm.
I love them.
Right? So much fun. And I also really like that as a pendant. But I feel like, I don't know, go big or go home on earrings these days. Like these, for example, again, super cute, super fun pendant, but also I just turned it into an earring because I only made one. If I ever get around to making a second one, it will be well, no, I'll make it back into a pendant afterwards. Right. Yeah. The opposite of what I said. And then this is what we're making today. So we are going to play around with the purple mandrel. We are going to play around with the bracelet bending pliers. And we are going to add some charms, some dangles, some beads, a little bit of wire wrapping. And one of the things that I am guilty of with when I'm working with Jesse James beads, and I would love to know if some of our friends who are watching with us today are also guilty of this. I have a tendency not to use my bead caps. I will admit to it. I have this little container here that I will go to sometimes that is filled with bead caps, but I don't know why. The beads I feel like are so beautiful and oftentimes really just speak for themselves, right? I mean, seriously, you're gonna put a bead cap on that? I don't think so. But one of the things that I wanted to do was really was challenge myself. Again, I'm always kind of giving myself a personal challenge to use the bead caps in this design. And so I did that. Also, full disclosure, bead caps are a really good way to pull up or to add a little bit of extra room above and below a bead. So for example, you'll see when we make this form, it was a little too big. And I didn't want this bead, this big, Sarah, remind me, what kind of pearl is this?
It's a check glass pearl, 14
A
mil.
check glass pearl. I didn't want it wiggling around in here. So again, just like the little things to think about when you're designing jewelry. These two bead caps took up that additional space. And of course, when I was going to do anything for our Facebook Live project this morning, it was going to have to involve one of these super fun mermaid tails. Yeah, I cannot even with this. They're so stinking cute. I want to put them on everything.
They're awesome. They're glass. They're so pretty and dainty.
Oh, and I love all of the colors together, and it's just, they make me so happy. I can't even. Okay, so let's do some fun playing for Mer-May. Yes, Mer-May. So the multicolor artistic wire in the pink, black, and green could not match the Siren set any better. It's almost as if they were made for each other. I don't know if they were, but they should have been.
Match made in beauty heaven. I say it all the time, Meredith.
That is Beadalon, and Jesse James Beads is a match made in beauty heaven for sure. All right, let me give myself a little bit of room here to work. So of course, as we all know by now, the most important tool in my wire working tool arsenal are the Nylon Jaw Pliers. I start almost every beading project by using my Nylon Jaw Pliers to straighten out my beading wire. And I'm going to cut off about, I'm going to cut off about 9 inches from my spool of wire, which is way more wire than I'm going to need. But one of my themes recently has been trying to encourage people to always cut more wire than you think that you'll need. I've been so frustrated by not cutting enough wire, and the thought is, well, I don't want to waste wire, but I don't know about you, but I always seem to waste more wire if I try to cut less wire. It's counterintuitive, but usually that's how it works out for me. So I think, I'm almost positive, but I could be wrong, that I went with the 1, 2, 3, 4th or notch, indentation. I don't know what you would call them, but the 4th step, that's what it is, up on my purple handled artistic wire Mandrel. These are great. I feel like everybody here probably knows about them, but they come apart like this, and there is a circle, oval, triangle, and square mandrel. They're super lightweight, they're very portable, and you can make so many different wonderful shapes and sizes on them. So they're definitely a great tool to keep in your beading and wire working workspace. So I'm just using my fingers. I always say your fingers are your best wire working tool to form this shape here. And the key to getting a really nice round shape is to actually bring the wire and cross it over itself like this, because it's wire. We're of course clearly going to be bending it back on itself. But I like to get a really nice crisp bend here by making sure that those wires cross the whole way. And did I do the same size? I think I did, actually. Sometimes you never know with me. So to do the second step to bend our wires back on this part and this part, and notice I didn't start at the top, I started in the middle. I don't know, I think that it's easier to start in the middle, but if it works better for you to go 1, 2, 3, then you do you. All right, so now let's see, I'm going to come up here, and again, we're working with wire, so nothing really needs to be that precise or that or that exact. And I think that when you're doing wire work, it is actually a benefit for to have things a little bit asymmetrical. So I came up here for my next wrap and I did 1, 2, 3 down. I just bent it back around like that. Oops, there we go. Sorry guys. Super easy peasy. And then I'm going to do this one even smaller. So I think I'm going to go with, so I did it here on this one. I'm going to go here on this one, and feel free to use any of the steps that work for you. You certainly don't have to do this the same size. And one of the things that I really like about this design is you can literally do it in a gazillion different ways. So I have my general form here. If you don't have this tool and you have the stepped bail making pliers, you can do that with these as well. You're just going to be, it's just going to be a little bit smaller. You won't be able to get this great big one in there, and that's okay. Sometimes we're feeling a little bit smaller. Sometimes we are feeling a little bit going big. All right, so now what I want to do is I'm going to figure out which one I want to be the top and which one that I want to be the bottom. And I guess it doesn't really matter, but I'm going to go with the one that is slightly smaller on the top. And I am just going to bend this up at a 90-degree angle. It's one of my favorite, I don't know, I find there's something so satisfying about putting things up at a 90-degree angle. And then I'm going to add 1 bead and 1 bead cap, and we're going to do a little wrapped loop at the top. So now I have to decide which bead I want to use. All right, fine. I'll just do the same one as I did in my example. So these bioluminescent beads are just so cool. I just can't even handle it. Although, is this, yeah, this is one of the bioluminescent ones.
That one's actually a little bit different. That one's more opaque. That's like dive a little bit deeper into the sea bioluminescence.
I love it. Love it. And
it pairs really nicely with the translucency of the actual, what we are calling bioluminescence beads.
Got it. Okay, so this one's a little bit different. That one's more opaque. So cool. Okay, just making sure. Sometimes I'm really bad at doing the same thing. That's why I don't make a lot of earrings that are kind of take a little bit more work because I'm very bad at doing 2 of the same thing. Just ask Yvette when I do earrings for us. She's always like, all right, well, that one is great, but I need another one, Meredith. All right, so I'm just doing a simple wrap loop here, and this is the 18 gauge multicolor artistic wire. This is not my best wrap loop that I've ever made of all time, but we're gonna go with it. And again, I always mention that after you do your wrap loop, the difference between a novice and a more professional wrap loop is just making sure that you tuck your little ends in nice and tucked, like tucking them into bed at night.
Aww.
All right, so now let's see. I used this bead and then this guy with the large bead caps for my top and then middle, and then I use this bead again for the bottom. So like a little symmetrical, a little not symmetrical. And then I grabbed some, I believe this is 24 gauge German style wire. Pro tip, which I did not do here, which is always a good idea. What I do after I take my German style wire out of the package is I put them in little baggies and I write what gauge they are on the wire, because I'm generally pretty good. I've been working at Beadalon for 14 years now. So I'm pretty good at looking and seeing what the diameter or what the gauge is of the wire. But sometimes I don't like having to guess. It's a lot easier, especially when it's an emergency situation, And I'm having a wire emergency. I don't know about you guys, but I had a big beading emergency last week. So it happens. So just a little tip. The artistic wire, it's really easy because it always says it on the spool, but the German style wire, which is a little more of a half heart wire rather than the dead soft of the artistic wire, it's always a good idea to mark the gauge. And you could do this with artistic wire. I just happen to have the right gauge in German style wire. So now all we need to do is do a little wrappy wrap, a little adding of a bead, and another little wrappy wrap. So to do this, I'm going to use my fingers. I might use a tool also. This is kind of when I do both. So I use my best tool, my fingers, but then sometimes if I need to, I will switch to a pliers. And we're going to go around 3 times. You could do 4 if you want. You could do 2 as long as the wire is secure. And what I want to do is squeeze up that coil also, because if my wire wrapping isn't perfect, which is hard to do sometimes, especially on that first wrap, just squeeze it together. That's what I love about wire wrapping. And sometimes I forget about wire wrapping, is that it's so easy to make it right. You know what I mean? So if you make, and I don't like saying if you make a mistake, because we're not really making mistakes. And something else that I just noticed, Sarah, is these 2 are different also.
Yeah, there's 2 different rondelles in there. The one
so
towards
cool.
the left.
This one is amazing.
Yeah, I love geometric everything, and that one on the left just really speaks to the tune of my heart.
I'm going to use this one, but had I realized that these were different, I would have used this. It's a really funky. I hope that I'm showing it.
Funky one, yeah.
With justice. That's really cool. All right, that's for another project.
All right. You do you.
All right. So now I'm going to come in here, and you can see I'm going to squeeze this back just a little bit. I want to make sure that it's close enough to my first one, but also I don't want a super whole lot of room. So again, just like small incremental movements is always what I recommend when doing really any beading. Oh, sorry, I'm going to pop this up just a little bit. Any wire beading, but also any wire work, is just small incremental movements makes all of the difference. So again, I'm going to squeeze this together. And while I'm here and looking, I'm just going to snip that top one and bring this down. And now I'm ready to do the middle part. I don't know, whenever I do kind of the biggest part of any project, it feels very gratifying to me. So let's see, I'm going to put on, and again, way more of this 24 gauge wire than I could possibly need, but so much better than having to add in the middle. And I might even have enough of this left over to do a knotted head pin or to do another project. You never know. Okay, so once again, I had my form that I formed here on my purple mandrel, and it looks like I have a little bit of extra space in there that I don't really want. So once again, with my best tools, my fingers, I'm just going to kind of squeeze that together, take out that space, and then we're going to once again wrap around 3 times. So we've got once, twice, and three times, and 3 times. There we go.
Meredith, you know what? This would make a really cool bracelet if you did like a whole form of waves.
For sure. Yep.
Using the mandrel and then just added these beads in between. It's such a really cool technique that you're showing us.
Thank you. And yes, and see, get it? It's waves.
Or waves.
And I'm not loving kind of how that is working. So I'm just going to kind of scooch this around with my fingers. And I'm just looking at the first one that I made. I'm thinking that I don't like this part down here as much. So I'm going to fix this. I'm going to actually make this a little bit smaller and a little bit more this way. So I'm just going to kind of guesstimate and figure this out as I'm going along. I'm just going to kind of use my tools, use my fingers. Maybe I need to straighten this out a little bit, bring it back over with my fingers. And it's kind of one of the things that I both love and don't love about wire work is that ability to kind of go back and judge things as you are working with it. Yeah. All right. Let's see. How did we do? Now it's a little bit too small. So let's just go back and fix it a little bit more. Put it back the other way, right? So I'm just going to kind of, nothing like making it up as you go along on a Facebook Live, right, Sarah?
Yeah.
There we go. And I'm going to end up squeezing that a little bit. And then I think it'll be how I want it. Okay. So again, super easy to fix mistakes, fix things that you don't like the look of, judge things a little bit this way, a little bit that way.
And that's one of the reasons so much I love design on the fly and inviting different designers to come and, just either plan something ahead of time or have a loose idea or have no idea at all. And then just share with us, with all of us watching, how your creative mind works, problem solving, coming up with ideas. And that's what we're doing right now.
Indeed. I like more so knowing what I'm doing as I'm going through it, but it's always nice to try something new. And it's a good kind of reminder both for me as, a distractor, as an instructor. Yeah, I don't need to know. I want to know all of the answers and all of the ways to do things, but just from participating in other people's Facebook Lives and doing the Beadalon Facebook Lives, oh my gosh, I've learned so much from the people watching and commenting. And my favorite thing is always, as you guys know, is the what if. So like, well, what if I try it this way? What if I try it this way? What happens if I do this? All right, so now what we're going to do is that little curly Q on the bottom.
I love her.
So cute. And I might have estimated that correctly, but there's only one way to find out. So let's see. I did, just for those of you who are really into measurements, about 1 inch.
I like how you have your ruler underneath your mat there.
So this tape, it's actually washi tape. That's that's measured with actual accurate measurements. It's one of the best investments that I've ever made. We have it on the Beadalon, on the display booth also for shows. Because I put it there because you always need a ruler and you always want to be reaching for a ruler. No. Okay, so I did that way longer than it needed to be. So let's just come in here and fix that. Start that over again. So probably about, I don't know, maybe 3/4, 3/8 of an inch, or 3/4 or 1/2 of an inch. And if I were doing these as a real pair that I really wanted to be accurate and the same, of course, I would make them together. So I would make one, I would do one part, and then I would do the same part on the other earring, and I would do another part, and I would do the same part on the other earring, because then you can see, like here, this one is way long, and this one, because I was fiddling around with it so much, ended up being much shorter. So if I had actually done these, one step, one step, one step, one step, one step, one step, then they would be perfect. but they're sisters or they're cousins, not twins. They're sisters, not twins.
Yeah, that's it.
Whatever they are, they're still really pretty cool. And nobody's going to know if they're on different ears. All right. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually make a jump ring out of the seam wire.
Ooh,
could I use a pre-made jump ring? Certainly, but it look so much prettier out of the 18 gauge multicolor wire. Yeah. So to do that, I actually like using my my stepped mandrel. I tried doing it the first time on this mandrel, and it works when you do it up here. But I just find making jump rings to be a lot easier on the mandrel. And I'm thinking, I hope that I'm choosing the same right size. I'm using the 4th largest. I'm just rolling this around. I don't know. It just seems a lot easier to me to make a coil. Do I need to make this big of a coil? Certainly not. I only need one. But once I start coiling, sometimes I can't stop. Okay, so now I'm going to cut a jump ring. And the way I try to do it is I'm going to cut the first one off with this side facing the ring because remember, I want that nice flush cut here. And then I'm going to flip my pliers over and cut over here and get that other side nice and flushly cut. And if I don't like the color gradation here, like this is just the black and the green, I kind of want a little purple in there. So I'm going to keep going. And then I need to, of course, cut off the side that's going the wrong way and come over here and cut so that my rings are always flush together. And I like that coloring a lot better. So we're going to use that one. See, there's generally a method to my madness. Not always, sometimes. If I were another pliers, I'd be back over here. Okay. So now I'm just going to kind of give this a little wiggle to harden it up and then open it and grab another mermaid tail, thread that through. Let's try this way, see if it works better. There we go. Thread that through. There we go. And then just link it in here. And of course, whenever we're opening and closing jump rings, especially ones that we've made ourselves, I like to do just extra little wiggles. It gives it a little bit more work hardening and makes sure that those centers come together really nicely. And then of course, the last thing to do is add an ear wire. Where are my ear wires? Let's see.
Meredith, fast question. If you wanted to, could you make your ear wire out of the multicolor wire?
You could make your ear wire out of the multicolor ear wire, certainly. I'm more of a purist when it comes to ear wires. I like just kind of using the ones that I have on hand. But if you'd like everything to match, of course, all you need is your multicolor or your stepped veil making pliers. And I can show that really easily. It's funny. It's one of my favorite things to make, but I don't always make them that much. I wonder why that is. That's super weird, right? But you want to make sure that you're using a flush cut here at the end. And I like to use the smallest part of the veil making pliers and make a little ring here at the end. And then probably come into the largest part of the veil making pliers, have the end poking out over there, and then bend this down like that. And then come in here, snip that. It's a little bit further down than the end. And this is where I like to use my flat nose pliers, but I'm not seeing them now. So chain nose will work just fine. And just bend that out just a little bit so it looks like an ear wire. But of course, your last step that you're going to want to do is file this guy down either with a cut burr in the battery operated bead reamer, or with a file, or even if you don't have any of those things, a nail file, a jewelry file, any sort of file. I'm going to keep saying file because you definitely don't want to put this through your ear, because it does, even though it's flush cut, it still has an owie end to it right there. So through the magic of video, we can just go ahead and pretend like I've already done all of those things. And you can see how nice that looks. I might also use the 20 gauge rather than the 18 gauge, because the 18 gauge can be a little thick for an ear, at least for mine. Some people who have nice big 80s inspired ear holes from when our earrings were big, like our hair. It's not a problem to have an 18 gauge ear wire for sure, but I don't wear earrings that much, so my holes are little. So I actually need a 22 to really feel comfortable in my ears. That's a little more information about me than you've all probably needed to know, but there you go.
So cute, Meredith.
Super cute, so fun, and really easy. And actually what I had wanted to show was all of the different combinations that you could do. So depending on the sizes of your loops, what we're really doing is kind of creating little frames for our earring or for the beads. And the Jesse James beads, especially in this mix, but just in general, they're just little works of art, I feel like. And so to be able to create a frame for them is perfect. And I love that Nicole, yes, my nails totally match the wire. And I did that on purpose when Sarah and I were first talking about this last week. And we were talking, or I guess it was probably a month ago, right? We were talking about Mer-May and then Mer-May. And then I was like, I need to have fun iridescent ocean mermaid nails as well for our Facebook Live.
I love them. So
it has
awesome.
made my whole month so much happier.
I knew it was Meredith too, because I've been watching some of the TikToks that you guys have done, and I see Meredith's fingers moving so fast, but you cannot miss the like blazing lightning of fingernails that she has got there. And they really match the beads so perfectly. I love it.
It all came together for sure.
Yay. Well, this has been really fun, Meredith. I love sending beads your way. I love when you get inspired by them, and that's the same thing with everybody else that's watching here. It's an absolute delight for everyone at Jesse James Beads to see what you create with the bead sets that we've created. So thank you for sharing your light and your designing panache with us here.
Oh, I love the word panache. Well, and I also have to thank you, Sarah, because these particular mixes are going to be featured again on a couple of upcoming Beadalon Facebook Lives, because like I said, we've got rose gold on the brain, and at Beadalon we too have rose gold on the brain. So we're going to be premiering a new product in, actually, I will tell you right now, we'll do, like, you heard it here first. I'm just gonna get my calendar to make sure that I'm saying the exact right day
for you guys really quick, because I was talking yesterday about the rose gold findings that we have. Rose gold, see if I can.
Oh, I meant to show those. I totally forgot. Here, wait. Take me off spot, or yeah. Here.
On gallery. Rose gold findings kit. These are awesome, guys.
This is when Sarah and I take it down a few notches. We get it, go back to keeping it real.
Yeah. Well, because I was talking about these rose gold findings yesterday on the Facebook Live, and I didn't get a chance to share them with you guys, and they really are so cool. It's amazing to be able to match your metals, especially with so many rose gold metals in that Coral Queen set. Yeah, see, Meredith's got them on the table now.
Yep. So we have Lapser clasps, we have
Yeah.
spring rings. We have a bunch of jump rings, which is super, super fun. And in here someplace there are tags. There we go. There's some tags in here also.
Meredith, what are those tags for? We have those on the Jesse James site, and I don't know what to use.
Oh my goodness, Sarah James. Okay. So first things first, we're going to, a week from today at 2:00 on the Beadalon channel,
Okay.
we're going to be featuring that rose gold mix again with a new rose gold product. But the tags are awesome. I did a project actually last week using the tag in place of a jump ring to attach it to an ear wire. But really the first and foremost, what is the word I'm looking for? Job of the tag is to be the other side of the clasp.
Oh, of course.
So if you use a jump ring here, the wire could slip through, right? I'm not getting focused. But if you use a tag, there's no split here. So you attach the wire here on one side, you attach the wire here on the other side, and then you have a really clean, nice finish.
Beautiful.
But what I really like using the tags for, so you know how when you do an earring and like it might be going this way and it needs to be going this way.
Sure, yes.
So instead of using a jump ring to do that, you would use a tag to do that. So you would put your tag, it looks a little bit nicer. You put your tag like this. Did everybody hear that? That was a whole bag of rose gold involvement falling. Finn was like, wait, no, not an avalanche. And then you would hang whatever you would need to hang from here. So it's just a little bit of a nicer look than a jump ring.
Nice.
That is what you use.
Very, very specific. No, I think we've learned a lot today, Meredith. This is awesome. I'm just going to recap real quick. So Meredith showed us how to, cut open the quick links and roll them backwards using either your, if you're going to really use your torque, right?
Torque, exactly. Yes.
So you're going to torque the quick link back.
Don't twerk your quick link.
I had to. I couldn't help it.
That'll be next week's Facebook Live.
Woo! So we learned how to cut the quick link and roll them back to make a really beautiful, elegant, simple jewelry earring or pendant design. Then Meredith got out the purple wire wrap mandrel set and did a really cool swirly wavy formation, and then used her thinner wire to set and nestle the beads throughout there. Then Meredith showed us how to make an ear wire. And finally, to cap off this really wonderful Thursday morning with Meredith Roddy and on Jesse James Beads channel, we just learned what a bead tag, what a tag is and why that is a perfect way to finish off your earrings or a perfect way to finish off your necklace or get your earrings facing the right direction. That was awesome, Meredith. Thank you. All of this. Wow.
Will you come and give me an ovation every day? I feel like that's a perfect way to start my day. With an ovation from Sarah.
Your call. With pleasure.
Nice.
These look awesome, Meredith. Wow, those projects are so cool.
Thank you.
After we are done here, can you send me some pretty beauty shots of these? So that in case anyone missed the live show, we'll post this up to our blog later today and we'll send you guys an email with links and all the products and tools and spools and all that jazz that was used today.
Yeah, I think I can probably handle that. Get some nice photos.
Thank you. Mer-May.
Do you want your photos with matching ear wires or asymmetrical ear wires?
Well, I mean, matching would be great, but I know everyone's busy. So maybe why don't you just do a matchy match for that really great quick link open one that you did. And the other one maybe could just be a pendant. Maybe?
I'll get you some good stuff. I promise. You know.
Thank you, Meredith. You are awesome. You're such a rock star. I enjoy hanging out with you all the time and coming up with
Me
these fun
too.
collaborations. Thank you.
Oh, and there's Finn.
And there's Finn, which must mean that it's about time to go. Finn, thank you for being here and supporting my beady friend. He's fantastic.
He is fantastic. Yeah, thank you all, everybody for hanging out with our silliness too.
Totally. Yeah, it's nice to be able to have a little morning break or start your morning with a laugh and some inspiration. This has been great.
For sure. Well, thanks, Sarah. Anytime, you know, I'm up for it.
You betcha. Guys, have a wonderful rest of your day. We'll be seeing you soon.